Hi, I'm Matt Eland. I'll be walking you through how to build a game and learn C#. This is a self-guided workshop offered by Tech Elevator. I'm an instructor for Tech Elevator's Columbus campus, and I have a rich history in .NET and C# development. I've actually been working with C# since Beta 2 of the language back in 2001. Today I want to walk you through learning C# and really just how to build applications in C#, .NET, and Visual Studio. So in order to work through this lesson, you're going to need either a PC or a Mac and be able to download software from the internet. Welcome to Module 3 of how to build a game and learn C#. Alright, so when we last left off, we had kind of installed Visual Studio already. We had introduced expressions and variables, and now in this third of four modules, we are going to actually start building out our game. Associated with this video is an article, and at the beginning of that article, Article 3, there's going to be some placeholder code. So go ahead and copy and paste that into your editor here, or just pause this video here and copy what I have. But this is what we're going to be starting off of. These little to-do comments are going to really help guide us through the process of building out the rest of this game. In this module, we're going to be adding in user input and conditional statements. Let's get started. First thing I should point out here is just kind of where we are right now. So this new code, it does things we've seen before, but it also has something new. So here we see on line 9, this line's starting with a // when we see // in C#, anything after that line, to the right of that line, is considered a comment. So we use this to document our code, to add in little to-dos if we haven't completed things yet, as we see here highlighted in blue. But these comments here are going to help us with the rest of the process of building out our application. On line 10, we declare an integer variable named secret number, and we assign 42 into that variable. For now, for this article, or this module, the secret number is always going to be 42. At the very end of the next module, when we complete our game, we're actually going to generate a random number for this. But for now, it's going to be 42, just because I like the number. Then on line 11, we have a guess. This integer guess is defined, and then it's set equal to 0. So this is going to be the guess that the player is typing in. And so the first thing we're going to be doing in today's lesson is actually getting that value. So let's go down to line 13 where it says let the player enter a number, and we're going to add a new line. And so now I'm going to say string guess text, so this is the text the player is going to type in, equals, and now what do I want it to be? Well, I don't want it to be some sort of a predefined text like hi. I want to actually get it from the user. So I want to say console. So this is the console class that we've been working with. So console.readline. And that's going to actually get input from the user. I did forget something though, so we actually need to tell the user that we are expecting them to type something in. So I'm going to say console.writeLine on the line above it. And I'm going to say guess a number between 1 and 100. Okay? And so now I'm going to go down to line 17, and I'll write a WriteLine. I'll say you guessed plus guess text. Okay, so now line 14 is going to prompt the user to type something. Line 15 declares a string variable named guess text, and it assigns the result of console.readline to it. Console.readline is just going to wait until the user hits enter, and whatever they typed in before they hit enter, that's the value that C# will see. So whatever the user types in and hits enter, that's going to be set into guess text. So let's give it a try. Hello console. console.readline. I'll hit enter. It says, you guessed, hello console.readline. So we see my input was set into that guess text variable, which was then displayed to the user. Okay, I'm actually going to add in a console.writeLine without any parameters above that, and a console.writeLine below that. It's just going to look a little bit nicer with some blank lines separating things out, so not everything is jumbled together. It's not really necessary for the program to run, but that's just what I'm going to do because I like the way things look. Okay, so now you may have noticed that our guess text is a string and our secret number is an integer. We really need to be able to translate from that string to a number. And in order to do that, we use something called int.parse. And so remember our guess variable here on line 11? Well, I really don't need it to be 0 at the beginning. So let's just say guess equals, and now I'm going to have to parse this. So I'm going to say int.parse. And what do I want it to parse? Well, I want to parse in the guess text. So parse says, hey, read in this string and convert it to an integer. Okay? And so now, at the very end, we'll say console.writeLine guess number colon, and then we'll say guess. And if all goes well here, this should print out the number, well, whatever number we type in. So since I know the number is 42, I'm just going to guess 42. And it says, you guessed 42, so that's my string. And then down here it says guess number, so that's the integer, is 42. Okay, so we see that we parsed the text into an integer. Now, just a side note here, this can fail if the user types in hello world or something like that. That's not a number. Bad things will happen. We do cover how to handle this in our 14-week curriculum at Tech Elevator, but for the purposes of an introductory article or introductory series, I'm going to assume that the user is only typing in numbers. Just know that we have ways of handling it if they do type in bad values, but for now, just assume that they are typing in good values. Okay, and just to show you that this is actually a number, I'm going to say guess times 2 equals, and now over here I'm going to put this guess in parentheses. I'm going to hit asterisk 2. Okay, this parentheses just says, hey, do everything inside of this first, and then asterisk is what we say for multiply. Well, why do we say asterisk instead of x? Well, because x is often a variable, or could be a variable. So we use asterisk instead. And now when I run this, and I type in, my guess is 5, guess times 2 equals 10. 5 times 2 is 10. Checks out. So we can see we can do numeric operations with our numeric value. Just kind of as a proof of concept. I actually don't need line 22, but I wanted to demonstrate that because this is an actual number, we can do numeric operations with it. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this to-do over here, and I'll just leave the comment because we've to-done it, so that's great. And now I'm going to go down to line 23, and it says like, hey, now we're supposed to evaluate the player's guess and respond. All right. Well, what do we want to do? Well, we want to tell them that if they guess the right number, right? So we can use something called an if statement to do this. So I say if, and then I do parentheses, and it adds in the end parentheses, and I'm going to say curly bracket. This is the bracket next to the P to the right of the key on a standard ASCII keyboard. And now it's saying it needs something in here. It needs a value that's either going to be evaluated true or false. So for now, I'm going to put true. So let's look at this here. So line 24 says if, and then inside of that it's a condition. So if this condition is true, which true is always going to be true, right? Because it's true. If this is true, then we're going to do whatever's inside of this scope here between lines 25 and 27. If it's false, we're going to skip it. So instead of true, we can actually write out if guess equals equals, so that's two equal signs, secret number. So let's read this for a second. If the guess, that's the number that we typed that was parsed into an integer, if guess equals equals, well, equals equals means comparison. So we're checking to see if two things are equal. Remember that we use single equal to assign things. We use double equal to compare things. So if the guess is the same as the secret number, then we want to do something. Well, what do we want to do? I want a console.writeLine. I'll say, congratulations, you guessed the secret number. And I'm going to do another console.writeLine with no message inside of it. And then I'm going to do another one, console.writeLine. I'm going to say the application will now close. Sure, it's always going to close right now because we haven't implemented the whole loop to keep guessing until you get the right number. But you know, this will be handy later. So now when I run this, it's going to ask me to guess a number. Well, I happen to know the number is always going to be 42, so let's guess 42. It says you guessed 42. Congratulations, you guessed the secret number. The application will now close. Cool. So now if I run this again, I'm going to type in 35. Why not? It says you guessed 35. So we don't see the notification that we guessed the correct number because we didn't, because it's evaluated to false. So let's say we wanted to say something if the condition is false. Well, we can go down to line 29, and after our end brace, we can say else, and we'll do our curly brackets again. And inside we can say console.writeLine. Nope, wasn't it. Now I'm going to run again. I'm feeling good about 22 this time. Let's guess that. Nope, wasn't it. But we see the nope, wasn't it logic. If we had guessed 42, we wouldn't see it. We'd see instead, congratulations, you guessed the secret number. So we can see how these if-else statements are letting us sort of respond to users and to user input and respond to the different cases of the program. So let's tweak this a little bit more. So remember, we want to be able to say if the number is greater than or lower than. The secret number is greater than or lower than the one we guessed. So I'm going to say else if, so I can say like, hey, it wasn't that, but let's try something else. So else if guess is greater than the secret number. Let me say nope. The secret number is lower than your guess. Okay, so greater than is just, you know, comparing whether or not something is greater than. It's going to return true or false based on whether or not it is. So now, if I run this, I'm going to guess 50. Remember, our number is 42, our secret number is 42, so I'm going to guess 50. It says, nope, the secret number is lower than your guess. So it did exactly what I wanted it to. But now if I run it again, I'm going to guess lucky number 7. And notice that I don't get any sort of a message whatsoever. Well, we need to fix this. So here I could say else, and I could say else if guess is less than the secret number. However, we kind of know already that if it's getting here, it already was less than that number. So I'm going to copy and paste line 32 down here into this, and I'm going to change this to greater than your guess. Okay, and now I'm going to get rid of this to do because we've to done it, but let's test it. So I'm going to guess a number between 1 and 100. So I'm going to guess 41. Nope, secret number is greater than your guess. Well, that's true. 42 is greater than 41. All right. Let's run it again. Guess a number between 1 and 100. 42. Woohoo! Got it right. That was pretty hard. All right, and one last time. Oh, just a note here, if you click on the little arrow, sometimes you'll see a menu like this. We just want to click that, the part on the left. All right, so now I want to guess 43, obviously, because I'm checking to see if it's greater than. All right, and it says, nope, the secret number is lower than your guess. So here we see the user can enter in a number, and it'll parse it into an integer, and then it's going to do some comparison around this. So if we guess it correctly, we'll see a message. If we didn't guess it correctly, we're going to see a number if we're greater than the secret number, and if we're not greater than the secret number, then we're going to see a different message. And that's going to help us refine our guesses over time. But that's it for this module. In the fourth and final module, we're going to add a loop to everything, as well as actually generate the random number. So catch you next time, and happy coding.